Happy Valentine's Day! It might not be Valentine's while you're watching this, and to be fair, I don't actually celebrate it, but I think it's cute. And so I thought it would be fun to make a Valentine's themed custom. When I got the idea to make this doll, the first thing that came to mind was a drawing that I made a while ago. I liked the colors and the cheek hearts, and I thought it would fit the theme perfectly, with a couple of added details, that is. So, yeah, let's begin. I chose this Rochelle because of her innocent looking face mod. Her hair was all messed up and she had some small stains, so she was in need of a repaint. To start, wipe all of the factory paint off with acetone. I use my nail to dig in a bit and clean all of the hard parts. Be careful not to use the acetone on the body though, it's made of a different plastic and it melts a bit. Once that's done, cut the hair as short as possible and then take the plugs and all of the yucky glue out through the neck hole. Some serious beheading is needed for the process. Wash the face with soap and water and we've got a clean base to start. Firstly, I bust out my chalk pastels and I start softly blushing the face. I put these two hearts on her cheeks using my favorite koala washi tape. Isn't it cute? I continue to blush over them, so that when they are removed, they will leave a negative space kinda hot. It might look a bit excessive right now, but it balances out, so don't worry about it. Then, the body blushing. For this, blush the joints, the body curves, and the extremities, so the hand and the feet. Body blushing makes the plastic feel so much more realistic, so I really like doing it. A few final blushing details and she gets sealed with MST. Now, using a lighter color, I start sketching the shape of the eyes. Rochelle's mold is very visible, so it doesn't really allow much for a wiggle room. That's okay since I was already planning on giving her huge eyes anyways. Honestly, I feel like she would be great doll for beginners for this very reason. If you aren't really confident in your symmetry skills yet, you can follow the mold and it will turn out great. With the shape done, I color in the white parts before sealing. It takes quite a few coats for the white to build up, so it's best to put it in from the beginning. Here she is with the colors filled in, and also with eyebrows. A little tip for the eyebrows: the shorter, curvier, and thicker they are, the cuter and more innocent they will make the face look. And in the contrary, the thinner and pointier, the more adult-like. Also, making the ends a darker color always makes them look so much better because it gives them dimension. I use pencils from a red, pink, and purple color palette to make sure that the colors tied in well together. When I was finished with the color blocking, I carefully took off the heart stickers. See what I mean with negative space? I just fixed them up a bit with the red pencil, and that's it, ready for the darker details. For the eyes, I used dark brown and black, being super careful with the eyelashes. And then proceeded to add highlights with white. The tip of the nose, the cupid's bow, under the eyebrows, the arc of the eyes, and wherever else I felt like it needed it. I also put the catch light on the eyes, however it is more of a raw placement at this point. The darkening and lightening takes a couple of layers of MSC, so I'm coming back at it multiple times just to build them up. Here, with the acrylics, I fix up the whites. Make sure the paint is watered down to avoid being lumpy. Once I'm happy with it, I add a little Liquitex High Gloss varnish to the lips and a very thin coat on the eyes. And out of the camera, I gave it a bit more detail and some golden glitter powder to make her glisten. When the face up is finally done, I make the wig cap. For this, I use a small squirt of fabric. It's better if it's a bit stretchy, and I hold it on with a tiny elastic. You want to make it look like a homemade marmalade jar. Then start coating it with glue. You need quite a few thick layers for it to retain its shape. I think I did about 8, and that can be quite time consuming. So I recommend using a blow dryer in low heat if you want to make it go faster. While that dries, let me present to you the clothes. I hand sewed this dress, and I made the skirt huge. I wanted it to flare a lot and be super puffy. For that, I also made this tulle underskirt by tying the fabric in knots around the yarn piece, so when you close it, it looks like this. And to finish the dress, I made her a little apron with the same tulle that ties it with a bow in the back. For the details, I added a small lace trim to the neck using this old lace my grandma gave me. You can't really see it right now, the way it's pinned. Wait a second. Here, much better. I just hand stitched it around and I think it looks pretty good. Now, it's time for the fun stuff, the bedazzling. I'll be using iridescent glitters and some tiny pearls. This took a while. Here you see me trying to stick them with normal white glue, but it didn't work out. They didn't want to stay in place, and after a while they just fell, so I ended up having to use hot glue. Now, in the apron, I glued small pink crystals and put blobs of glue to have an easier place to stick the golden hearts later. And for the shoes, I took some Draculaura shoes and painted them a lighter pink. When the cap dried, I started gluing some yarn wefts from bottom up. She's going to have a fridge, but it looks funny now. For the part, you want to put a weft in the opposite direction. The weft will be flipped to hide the ugly glue. Oh, okay, hold on. Yes, I was watching a dog training TV show on YouTube and...
If I sit, he goes berserk now. But then Max...
That's Max. He was obsessed with all things shiny. And pretty much how I've been through the whole video. I get you, Max. Once the glue dries, glue another weft on top to fill in the bald spot. And that's it. A pretty nice part. Now style it into place. The last thing is the fringe. I cut it a bit longer to give myself some room for mistakes, and it goes crazy. You know what they say, the higher the hair, the closer to heaven. Now, I glued some underneath and hide the glue. And all that's left is styling. Oh well, and my last minute off-camera details. I'm a mess, I can never put it down. Here she is, finally done. I was thinking of an appropriate name, and the first thing that came to mind was Valentina. But it's not as original as I would like it, so I'm taking the first word of the Spanish name for Valentine's, which is San Valentin, and naming her Sana. I know it doesn't scream love, but it hardly needs to with all of the hurts that are already in her. So Sana it is. Any Twice fans around? What do you guys think? What do you think? Do you like your new look? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Shall we say goodbye? Bye bye! Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, maybe you can press the like button and subscribe to see future projects. Also, to see more pictures of her, other dolls, drawings, behind the scenes, and polls, you can find me on Instagram at Studio Sua. I really like interacting with the toy loving community, so I would love to see you there. And if you would like to see my last video, you can click here. Bye bye!
No, no!